morning, student. Today I will be taking up the chapter of history of class 10th, Nationalism in India, the first module, the First World War, non-cooperation and Khilafat. So before understanding this chapter, we should know the nationalism in India. India is a country where do we live, okay? And we were exploited by the Britishers since ages. And the meaning of nationalism, it refers to the feeling of oneness and common consciousness that emerges when people living in a common territory share the same historical, political and cultural background. People may be speaking different languages, but the love for the nation keeps them together. So as you know, in India, people, they live in different regions, they speak different languages, but still we call ourselves as Indians. So in this chapter, in the first module, the First World War, as you know very well, what was the First World War broke out in the world in the 1914, and in class 9th, as you have read, that the world was divided into two groups. One was the Allies power, other was the Axis powers. And India was a colony of the Britishers that was in the Allies powers. So India, when it was a colony of the Britishers, was dragged by the Britishers into the First World War. Clear? So this First World War had its implication on India. So what were the implications of the First World War on the Indians? So first is, it led to the emergence of a new economic and political situations. Second, increase in the defense expenditure. So in the increase in the defense expenditure means the government spent huge money on the war, and it was financed by the war loans and increased the taxes. Second is, the custom duties were raised. Introduction, first time in India, the British introduced the income tax. There was increase in the prices in the year 1913 and 1918, which led to the hardships to the common people who could not afford for their source of livelihood as well. Then there was forced recruitment, means the Indians were dragged by the Britishers into the army forcibly. The villagers, people from the villages were called upon to take recruitment into the army to serve to the Britishers in the First World War. Then crops failed because of that failure of the crops during the 1918, 1919 and 1920 and 21. Along with the crop failure, there was influenza, that is epidemic. Because of these reasons, 12 to 13 million people died in India. Now people, they thought after this World War, the Britishers, rather they promised to the people, we may give you the independence once the war is over, but their dream never fulfilled and their hardships never come to an end. During this period, 1914 onwards, 1950, the Mahatma Gandhi, the leader of the nationalist movement, known as the father of the nation, he came to India from South Africa in 1950. So he fought there the racist regime that you have read in class 9, apartheid, the policy of racial discrimination. So he, that novel method of mass movement, he experienced there in the South Africa. So when he came to India, he wanted to start with the same idea of satyagraha. Satyagraha means follow the path of the truth. Now this satyagraha, it emphasized the power of the truth and the need to search for the truth. Further he says, if the cause was true and struggle was against the injustice, then physical force is not required against the oppressor, but a satyagrahi would win the war with non-violence. Means a satyagrahi who is fighting in the nationalist movement has to follow the path of truth and the non-violence. And he thought, with this non-violence, we are able to throw the Britishers from the country if people are united in the country. But these satyagraha, he himself sported to the people when he went in 1917 Champaran in Bihar, where he sported to those farmers who were forced by the Britishers. As you know that the Britishers forced the Indians to go for cultivation of the commercial crops, means the crops with the purpose of sale, which they can sell and earn the profit. But the Indians were using the land for the cultivation of the food crops. Now they were compelled to grow the indigo, which they did not like, and they were supported by Mahatma Gandhi in Champaran. Next was the Kheda district in Gujarat, where the farmers, the peasants were asked to pay the revenue. But what happened over there? Crops failed. Along with that, there was epidemic also, that is plague. So he supported them for the reduction of the revenue. Then in 1918, he went to Ahmedabad, again in Gujarat, where he supported the cotton mill workers who were demanding higher wages. So through these movements, now Britishers came to know, now he is able to mobilize the ideas through non-violence and satyagraha in the minds of the Indians to fight against them. So in a hurriedly, what they did, the Rowlatt Act. In 1919, the Britishers Imperial Legislative Council passed an act which was known as Rowlatt Act. According to this act, what was there? It gave the government the power to repress the political activities and detention of political prisoners without trial for 2 years. Means anybody can be put behind the bars and he has no right to go to the courts. Now what happened when this act was passed? It was unjust act. Now Mahatma Gandhi, he decided to fight against this unjust law, and he thought, I will start a hartal from on the 6th of April. Now what happened when he gave the call for the hartal, that is 6th April, rallies were organized in the country. People, they followed the boycott methods. Workers did not go to the workshops to work in the factories. And with this, now what happened? Now Britishers were alarmed with the huge progress of the nationalist movement in India. So immediately they clamped down on the satyagrahis. Local leaders were arrested. Mahatma Gandhi was barred entrance into Delhi, and on this situation on 10th of April, the martial law was imposed in Amritsar. What happened? Martial law means when the rule of the government comes under the control of a general, and the general was General Dyer. Now on 13th April, now here I have written the Jallianwala Bagh incident. Now Jallianwala Bagh, you must be knowing, those are visiting the Golden Temple. It is very near to the Golden Temple. And now this Jallianwala Bagh has two entries. One is entrance, one is exit. But at the time, on 13th April 1919, people, they gathered there on this to protest against the government new repressive policies, measures, and General Dyer. What was their repressive measures? And one more, the people from the nearby villages gathered to celebrate, to attend the Baisakhi fair, annual Baisakhi fair, and these people from the nearby villages. So they were not knowing it, that martial law is imposed in the city. So General Dyer, looking around this gathering of the people, what he did, he blocked the exit. So there was one entrance and exit, so people cannot run away from there, and he fired on them. Many people they killed. But what was the main objective of the General Dyer? Why he opened fire on them was, what was there written over here? To create in the minds of satyagrahis a feeling of terror and awe, clear? And to produce a moral effect. So moral effect means now when their morale will be down, in future they will not revolt in such a way. And when this Jallianwala Bagh incident, the rumor spread, okay, the news spread in the towns, in the cities, in the villages, people, they gathered themselves, they came out from their houses, they started clashing on the police, they started fighting with one another, they attacked on the government buildings. Again, what the Britishers will do? They followed the repressive methods. They forced the satyagrahis to rub their nose on the ground, clear? To rub their nose on the ground. Plus, what they said them? They will do the salam. to the sahibs, means to the British officials. They were flogged, means they were whipped, they were thrashed, and this was the condition of the satyagrahis. With this movement, now what happened over there? Mahatma Gandhi again, what he saw, this the violence, means from non-violence it is turning into a violent activity. So what happened over, he stopped it, or automatically stopped. Now he saw that how I can make this movement now more wider. Now he got an opportunity to take up the issue of Khilafat issue. What was the Khilafat issue? As you know, in the First World War, the Ottoman Turkey was defeated, and it was the seat of the spiritual leader of the Muslim world. So with the dismantle of this seat, now the Muslims under the leadership of Ali brothers, that is Ali brothers, Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali, they wanted to join, and moreover Mahatma Gandhi was interested to club this issue with the non-cooperation movement. A committee was formed in Bombay in March 1919, okay, by Ali brothers and Shaukat Ali brothers, and they found an opportunity for the united struggle, okay, with the Mahatma Gandhi. So the movement was clubbed with non-cooperation as a Khilafat. But why this non-cooperation movement? Because Mahatma Gandhi wrote a book in 1909, the book of the name of the book, Hind Swaraj, where he has written the Britishers could rule over India only with the cooperation of the Indians, and they survived in India because of the Indians. If Indians stopped their cooperation with the Britishers, then the country or India will get independence within 1 year, and their dream of getting Swaraj will come to true. But how to start it? He gave the 3 steps or the 3 stages. In the first stages in the non-cooperation, the titles of which were conferred to the Indians by the Britishers, he requested the people then give up those titles, surrender the titles. For example, Rai Bahadur, Khan Bahadur, etc. On the second stage, he said, what to do then? What we have to do? Boycott. The method is boycott, which they were doing earlier in the past. Boycott of the civil services, boycott of the army, boycott of the council elections, etc. But the many leaders within the Congress were reluctant, because the elections were coming in the November 1920, and what they wanted, many were interested, many were not interested, but the compromise was there within the leaders, within the members of the Congress, and in the Nagpur session, that is 1920 December, a compromise was taken to launch the non-cooperation movement. So what were the effect of this non-cooperation movement? How the people from the different communities took the non-cooperation movement, what was their participation? That topic, second module, different states, okay, of the non-cooperation movement, I will be taking up in the next session. Till then, stay safe and happy. Thank you.